All right, guys, so today we're talking about mindset. Mindset's really important because it's the preface you start with before doing anything else. And I mean, you're not writing a business plan, you're not getting anywhere without getting into the right mindset. You wouldn't do anything that is outside of what you normally do in your activities without first changing the way you think about what you're trying to achieve. So this is no different, right? We are trying to build a business here. We are trying to set you apart from what you're currently in, which is a fixed mindset, into a growth mindset. So two completely different things. You have a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. These are the two mindsets I want you to be aware of. In our typical day-to-day activities, we exist in a fixed mindset where we believe certain things about ourselves. We feel like we have the intelligence, the tools, everything we need in order to achieve what we're trying to get done that day. That's a fixed mindset. But a growth mindset is completely different. A growth mindset is a much longer-term mindset, understanding that you don't know almost anything about what you're trying to achieve and that it will require massive action for you to get anywhere. That is a long-term mindset, understanding that you will inherit short setbacks as part of your progress. Do not let that affect you. It's part of the bigger picture. You need to shift out of a fixed mindset and into a growth mindset. Okay, so how do we get into the right mindset? How do we get to a place where we can stop believing the self-limiting beliefs that we have about ourselves and into an abundance mindset? It's a big shift. And it's difficult to do because the self-limiting beliefs that you have, they were originated at a very young age. Self-limiting beliefs will permeate who you are. And so it's important for you to dive deep in this process to uncover what those things might be and put a big, hairy why at the top of it so you can overcome them. My why, for example, is all about my children. I want to give them a life that I never had. I want them to have opportunities that weren't there for me. I want to provide them with a household that's full of love, that has tons of opportunity, an abundance mindset. That's what I want my children to grow up thinking. We all have limiting beliefs about what we think about the world. I mean, we've all got parents who've told us that money never grows on trees, right? We can't afford that. Think about how that permeates into your thought patterns. And then beyond that, rich people are always evil. Or they must have stolen that car in order to pay for it, or stolen something in order to get that car, whatever it might be. These are limiting beliefs. Identify them as limiting beliefs in your thought process and realize that they're going to get in the way of why you want what you want. You need to know every day why you're waking up to come and grind this out. Why are you getting up every day? Why are you going to make 100 calls to get just one listing? And how are you going to get yourself into that frame of mind so that you'll win? My why is very deep. And understand that when you go through the process of asking yourself why you do this, you should do the process about 5 or 6 times. Because the first few times you do this, you're not going to get very far. You might say, I want to do this. Why? Well, because I want to make more money. So if making more money is truly what your why is, then you need to find out why you got yourself into a position where you don't make any money. So by the way, your why doesn't have to be profound. It needs to be meaningful. The more underdeveloped your why is, the more underdeveloped your progress and your results are going to be. The more developed you question, the deeper you go with what your why is, the further you can go down that growth mindset. So you got to put the work in up front in order to liberate yourself to move on and really dig at why you're doing this. Because I'll tell you, when you pick up the phone and you call that first person in your daily tasks, that phone feels like 1,000 pounds. It feels really heavy and it's very difficult to get through. But in the right mindset, when you put it down, the second phone call you get, the third phone call you make, the fourth one you make, they start to roll. They start to get a bit easier because you start to believe in yourself and realize that you can get over this fear. You can mount this obstacle. You just got to put the reps in. because the more developed your why becomes, the longer you can go into that growth mindset and the more likely you are to achieve the goals and results you're after. I really want to talk about how your brain actually works against you when it comes to a growth mindset. Your brain is the best survival mechanism that you were ever given. It honestly works against you in so many different ways, and you don't know this until you become aware of what it's actually doing. For example, when we talk about a growth mindset and we talk about a fixed mindset, right? A fixed mindset means this is where we typically operate in our day-to-day activities, right? So if we're not doing anything outside of our comfort zone, we are in a fixed mindset. One of the biggest hindrances to a fixed mindset is feeling that I've been down this path before, so I already know what I should do. I should already know the outcome. And the reason for that is because it is designed not to expend energy. It is designed to conserve as many calories as possible, knowing that you might need them later in the future. It does not want you to change out of your comfort zone and into something that is uncomfortable because of the fear that your brain associates with any level of change. So it's by design going to avoid conflict, stay away from fear, stay in your comfort zone, conserve your energy in the event that we need to do something. It's a brilliant tool, but in a growth mindset, it works against you. So you've got to understand what your brain is doing before you can actually overcome that. Understanding my own mindset was understanding how my brain actually worked against me and that it wasn't my best friend in this process. In a growth mindset, which is the complete opposite of understanding that you don't know much and that you are going to really pursue with action over knowledge to get where you want to be. And in order to do that, you have to accept that you will be wrong, not some of the time, but most of the time. A couple other things you need to be aware of when it comes to mindset, and maybe the other big piece of this more than anything else is having an accountability partner. You got to have and share with someone who's very close to you who will hold you accountable every day as to whether or not you are aligned with what you're supposed to be doing. This is so important, and your accountability partner needs to understand what you're trying to achieve daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. And if you don't know what those things are, start with yearly and then work towards monthly, weekly, daily, and even down to the hour. In order to maintain a growth mindset, you have to understand that you're not going to know everything along the way. You're going to be wrong more than you are right. But that's how you get there. So get away from that fixed mindset, stay open, have an accountability partner, and know why you get up to do what you do every day.